Shabbat Shalom. This week is Parshat Naso. It's the parsha where we learn about the Isha Sota, the wayward wife, the woman who goes and has an affair, or who is presumed to have had an affair. And I'm not going to go into the differences between men and women having affairs. They happen on both sides. And there's a lot of reasons for why people choose to have affairs. Oftentimes, people think that people who have affairs have a lot of lust and sexual feelings that they just can't seem to be met within the context of marriage or a monogamous relationship. And sadly, that's just not the case. That's not always the case. That is sometimes the case, but oftentimes the reason why people have affairs is because they don't seem to be able to access an emotional connection with their partner in the way that they want and the way that they need and the way that enables them to really feel seen and safe and held and supported. And I think it's a really important topic to talk about because oftentimes people just sort of act on their feelings and they don't really take the time to explore how they feel with their partners. Sometimes they try and their partner thinks that they're listening to them, but they're not really hearing them. And sometimes, after a lot of efforts on the part of the person who commits the adulterous affair, after trying so many times to get their partner's attention, they feel the only way that they can do so is by finding somebody else who is emotionally attentive to them. And also, I think it's important to note that affairs aren't only physical and sexual, they're emotional as well. And sometimes the emotional affairs they cause the deepest wounds because it really is sending a message to your partner that they're not enough for you. And that's something that they feel they should be able to do. And it's something that both people really want ultimately, but sometimes people just have a really hard time being able to be emotionally present for themselves and for their partners. And it's something that I've been very privileged to work with people on, and it's something where I've really gone to see how after an affair, people actually sometimes can create deeper, stronger, better connections than they did before. It's unfortunate that sometimes the affair has to happen, but the important thing to note is that people can heal from affairs with a lot of time and patience and understanding. And what I'd like to talk about now is just really focus on how you can affair-proof your relationship. And that's something that people don't spend enough time thinking about. And one way you can affair-proof your relationship is really by committing to spending a few minutes on a regular basis, maybe every day, maybe a few times a week, but really spending time to really deeply connect with your partner and make sure that your partner, both you and your partner, feel like you're a priority in your relationship, because in doing so, you feel more held and more connected, and the more that you don't want to seek out anybody else's arms, both physically and metaphorically. So on that note, I'd like to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.